everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Turnovers will be a focus in today's game. The Giants are top 10 in turnover differential, and they'll be up against a Bears team looking to avoid a costly mistake. So with kickoff straight ahead, we'll check in with our broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. The return man here, Dwayne Harris. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the former 7th-round pick, Rashad Jennings. Rashad Jennings, he's all alone. 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Rashad Jennings, 77 yards. And the Giants are going to take a first-quarter lead. The very first play from scrimmage, how about that? Talk about setting a tone.
And people always talk about doing exactly that in the first 5 minutes of the game, the first offensive and defensive series. Who's going to gain an advantage? Well, we saw exactly what happened there. The tone was definitely set by the offensive team.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Jeremy Langford. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now Cutler to throw on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Jeremy Langford, the one he was looking to get it to. And it's 3rd down. And we get a peek at the offense and a peek at Alshon Jeffrey.
An absolute matchup nightmare for any defensive back. Size, speed, terrific hands.
So incomplete on 2nd down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd. On the counter, Langford. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front? Creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
So incomplete on 1st. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. This is Jennings. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. Tough spot for the offense. 3rd and 8. Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. It's caught. Shepard. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Throwing on first down is Manning. He's got time in the pocket. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
It's brought in by Harris. And he's brought down after a good gain. They'll get 32 yards there. And it's first down, New York. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll run it now out of the gun. Down right around the 25. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
They run again with Jennings. Still on his feet. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That one good for 17 yards. And now they've got it 1st and goal.
So let me make sure I have this right. He's already found the end zone once, and now he's ripped off a big chunk of yardage here on this one. His confidence is awfully high. So now I've got to put myself in the shoes of the defensive coordinator. Do I go ahead and sell out to try and stop him and force him to do something different? Or do I risk him having a big monster day against my defense?
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. They're knocking on the door as they come to the line here on 3rd and goal from the 1. They'll try to run now with Jennings. And he is in. Touchdown, Giants. Rashad Jennings with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Giants add on to their lead. And it's 15-0. He told us he was going to hit the end zone a couple times in this game. I just don't know that he envisioned doing it in the first quarter.
He probably did. I'm not sure we did,
yeah.
Right? Because all the great ones, that's what they do. They dream about it, right? They think about it. They envision it. They think it's going to happen and almost will themselves into it. I just look at what he's done so far and just wonder what's left to come. Let's sit back and enjoy this one.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That, too.
He's got time. Completion left side to Miller. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Wow, I can't help it. When I see Jay Cutler throw the football and throw one like that with a big completion, I can't help but be impressed.
His arm strength, such an asset.
It really is, because it gets him in trouble sometimes, but I think it gets him out of trouble more often than that.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
Offense.
So there you go, holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situations, tougher to execute and pick up first downs.
On 2nd down, here's Cutler. And he fires one incomplete. Jeremy Langford, the one he was trying to get it to. And now it's 3rd down. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the 2nd down incompletion. And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. Now Cutler on 3rd and long. Buying time to his left. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. There he goes, right side. The 20, 10, and he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Giants touchdown. Well, when both guys went up for the ball, I just thought, who's going to come down with it? I didn't think he'd come down with it and then take it all the way for a touchdown.
That's battling, isn't it? Because normally, if both guys go up for it and come down with it, the tie goes to the offense. The defensive player didn't want it to be a tie at all. He wanted a little bit more, took it, and went the other direction.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position and throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
On the right side, this is Miller. And he's brought down. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. On first down, it's Cutler. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It's the big offseason signing from Miami, Olivier Vernon, in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front, nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
He's going to look deep down the field. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he takes it all the way down to the 3.
Absolutely zero surprise at that throw we just saw. I mean, Jay Cutler has a whip for an arm.
He's had it since he won his state title at Heritage Hills High School in southern Indiana.
Where in southern Indiana, though?
Well, he's born in Santa Claus. How about that?
That's pretty strong.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Zach Miller, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bears get a bit closer. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. Here's Harris to return it. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. They'll send Beckham alone to the left side. They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the...
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Giants with a football here as we begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 3rd and long, it's Manning. finding time. Going for the deep ball. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Bears take over. Here's the Giant defense now as they head back onto the field. And a touchdown given up the last time they were out there, so maybe need to refocus a little bit.
And make sure that they don't start finger pointing with each other, because oftentimes when a touchdown's given up, you say, okay, where did that happen? Who broke down? Who gave it up? Instead, just go back out there, be a unit again, and try and play a little bit better.
Yeah, see if they can play a little bit better on this drive.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
This is Langford on 1st and 10. And he's going to take this down to about the 17. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. The offensive line and its ability to open holes in this defensive front, something they were confident they could create in this game. Got the job done there, picked up the first.
And something they wanted to do. Have we ever met offensive linemen that don't want to fire out and hit people? I mean, they love the running game. Guys want to do that, and when you emphasize it, practice it, and work on it, that gives you an opportunity during the game.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it. And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Back to the ground. This time Langford. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
So 4th down, John Fox will turn it over to his field goal unit. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Barth puts it through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he will take a knee here, so per the New York set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage where they get lower than the offensive linemen and control them. And what I love about the good defensive tackles, they can play over the guards, they can slide and play over the center. Nobody in the offense likes that day when they have to deal with those guys. This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
From the gun on 3rd down, Manning. He finds Beckham complete. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
But that's the Kickstarter right there. Eli Manning finding his guy, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, it's a deadly combination, isn't it?
It really is, but what really makes it work It's just how unflappable Eli is with his demeanor, able to maintain his calm and his poise. Because we know OBJ, he can run pretty hot and get excited out there.
Sometimes just one-handed grabs for him.
It doesn't matter what it is. Just throw it up there. He'll go get it.
Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open.
I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National Football League. How about that veteran leadership? A big-time run combined with some nice blocking by his offensive line, showing that the ins and outs of being a veteran still has his place in this league. His odometer is not totally turned over yet. I don't know about you, partner, but I'm rubbing my eyes after that play. Did we just see that runner not get yardage? A big-time play by the defense. It does happen occasionally, even against the best running backs who are having big days.
Now Manning throwing on second down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Oh, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he better get home and make the play. Otherwise,
under pressure, they got him again. Akeem Hicks. He's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Here's Steve Weatherford now as he'll kick it away for the second time. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Here comes Jay Cutler now to lead his offense back out there. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now, his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass, no interceptions for him personally to this point. Cutler will throw. Caught right side is Jeffrey. And he's going to be out of bounds up around the 45-yard line.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
On 1st and 10, it's Cutler surveying the field. Miller on the catch over the middle. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. Now Cutler. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down. So a 2nd down incompletion now brings up 3rd down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in your coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And now a high kick, but he hit it straight up. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now, there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
Defense.
And after a nice game, they don't need the penalty. They'll decline it, take the ball where the play resulted. And that one makes this a 19-point game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Chicago. Such an electric play, so much fun to watch, and you need all 11 guys in sync for that to be successful, don't you?
Without a doubt. That's teamwork, to be able to put it all together. But that play is really probably the most exciting 10 seconds in football.
And they will line up now for the two-point try. Cutler now to throw. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Eli Manning getting ready to go again on offense. He's been in a pretty good groove. They actually have more yards on the ground than through the air, but both have been good, pretty balanced.
And have we ever met a coach when we've talked to him before a game that hasn't mentioned wanting to be balanced?
No, because then you've got both sides hitting. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Jennings. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They come out here in the eye. Here's Jennings. That'll make it 4th down after. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Steve Weatherford now as he's on to punt for New York. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 33. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. They'll throw on first down with Cutler. He's going to wind up and air it out. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. Final play of the half. It's Cutler. He's going to let it go again. This is caught inside the 15. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And here on the road, that could be a huge score for their morale in the second half.
Every team has confidence going into the start of games, but sometimes...
Okay, well, so much for the halftime report here. Guy can't even finish his Snickers. We're going to get right to the third quarter. Let me spit this out. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. 15 yards through the air on a first down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. 10th carry now for Jeremy Langford. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down. You're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
On second down, Langford. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It goes as a loss of 6. And now third down.
The way he roared up and made that play, that tells me that he spent a lot of time in the film room analyzing what this offense does, and he saw something that convinced him he didn't have to worry about the pass. He could just go right now and make a play. I think if you're the
and that's caught inside the 35. A very solid gain of 27. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving Day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like they're drawing them up in the dirt, and so far it's working for both of them.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
On third down, Cutler. Jeffrey with a catch left side. Touchdown, Chicago. Alshon Jeffrey with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And his guys are an extra point away now from taking the lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
The Bears defense gearing up as they take the field. They were able to force that 3 and out. That led to a touchdown. And defenses obviously love 3 and outs. They want more of that.
They created a very short and not too sweet stint for the offense by getting them off the field that fast. But it set up their own offense, gave them a little spark, and they took it downfield and scored.
Now the question, can they do it again? Let's see.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds. It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. He's got Cruz complete. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. On second down, here's Manning. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
And he's brought down. 11 yards on the pickup, and that leads to a New York first down. So last week, mostly ineffective. This week, what we're seeing, very effective. What are you seeing that's different?
I think what I'm seeing is just a simple, everyone is on the same page. And I know it sounds trite, but I'm talking about all the guys up front with the blocking schemes, everyone at the point of attack, creating space. And so far, it doesn't matter what gap they choose, they're finding it. A gap, B gap, C gap, does not matter. They're getting there, and they're creating nice runs. Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Manning to throw on second down. Over the middle here to Donnell. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Dwayne Harris, the intended target. And that brings up fourth down. The Giants will look to Josh Brown for the field goal try.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they run successful.
And the 13-year man puts it through. And with that, the lead changes hands here in this third quarter. So they don't get a touchdown here on this opening drive in the third quarter. But I think you still say mission accomplished as they come away from it with the lead.
Absolutely. You've got to apply the pressure here, make the other guys play catch-up for a while, and now you just hope your defense can step up and protect the lead.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, we gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. Cutler to Langford on the draw. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Jason Pierre-Paul first burst on the scene for me, headed towards his draft year. You know what I saw him doing? Like 15, 16 backflips in a row on a YouTube video.
Athlete.
Absolute athlete. And he uses that agility to slip past guys and make plays in the backfield.
That draft year 2010, 15th overall pick.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
And the dreaded third and long here for the offense. Now Cutler on 3rd and long. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to take another. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked by Darian Thompson, the rookie. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And New York set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They go play action for Jennings. Now Manning. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. 3rd down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. From the gun on 3rd down, Manning. And that will be caught, but out of bounds. Out of bounds, ruled incomplete here. 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question. Whoosh!
Just a 30-yard punt that time. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. Onto the field now come the Bears. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And the way that he ran last week has not been duplicated here. What gives, Charles?
I don't know. Maybe it was the big meal he took him for after the game last week. I don't know. Being a little bit facetious here, but I do know that after last week's game, the coaching staff awarded game balls to every starting offensive lineman. They're not playing to the same level this week. I don't know if they're seeing different things on defense that have really fouled things up in their blocking scheme, or if they're just not as sharp. Because right now, he's not finding the creases, can't find the gaps to get through and get upfield.
Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on 1st down.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
They run with Langford, and he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now Cutler on 1st down. Flush to his right. And he's got room. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Langford again, busy man this afternoon. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game. It is definitely hard to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. They come out here in the eye. Cutler going to sneak it. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Jay Cutler scoring on the sneak from a yard out. And the Bears have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter.
And the sneak works on 2nd and goal. They didn't wait until it was 4th down to try and get him across.
No, and I think if you're the QB, you like these plays, don't you? I mean, you want to hand it off sometimes, but also prove that you can get it in there as well.
Yeah, it makes you really part of the gang, doesn't it? It makes you part of the crew, and it really bonds you with those big offensive linemen because then you get to celebrate with the big fellas.
Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they made some good adjustments, though. He's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there, despite the fact that
and he's hit and taken down. Eli sacked. Pernell McPhee in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player. I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Manning. And he's got his man, Donnell. And a gain there of 11 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Manning now on 1st down. Underneath for Jennings. And he's brought down. 15 yards on the pickup there. And it's good for a New York 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches. And they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
He's having a big game through the air, and sometimes those smart decisions just dump it off. That's how you continue to have big games through the air.
I agree totally. That's a great analogy, a great way to put it, because he doesn't get too greedy where everything has to be pushed downfield, trying to create big plays that aren't there. You dump it off and take that nice gain, and things add up, and now you have the kind of game he's having.
Still 1st down.
And let's see what the defensive coordinator may have up his sleeve here to try to get this final last stand and win this football game. Again, they'll throw with Manning. Over the middle to Beckham. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down. And he is picking up right where he left off a week ago. I wrote down, so funny here on my notes, what he said last week. And after we talked to him about the good game, he said, I will do it again. And I wrote those words down, and he's done it again.
And it's not bragging if you're doing it, right? Because that's exactly what he's told you, and he is getting it done. Smooth in the secondary, making catches, making plays. That's the guy that we know.
Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. From the 4-yard line, it's 1st and goal now. Now it's Jennings. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. And now they're in the hurry-up. He'll look to throw. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. Rashad Jennings with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. A big play looming for the Giants as they'll go for 2. And the G-men have taken the lead here in the 4th. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will not get there. He comes up short. And they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a one-point game. This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
And the play goes for 19 yards, gives them a new set of downs. So deja vu all over again, another good week. And sometimes maybe, because the defense doesn't look that bad, maybe this is just good offense beating good defense in his case.
I like that because we always want to point out that there's a breakdown or someone made a mistake or there was an error. Sometimes it's exactly as you described it. Sometimes they just made better plays. And that's what he's been doing for the last 2 weeks. Someone's got to find a way to cover this guy. Otherwise, he may set some records.
This is Howard on second down. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. A handoff, Jeremy Langford. And not much run. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. This is Jeremy Langford's 20th carry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. They'll try to run for the first with Langford. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Play clock down to 5, and they're going to burn a timeout. And as the 2 teams talking over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going. And that is no good. Wide to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, Charles, coaches.